From the bright lights of Broadway to the roaring bleachers in the Bronx, in the world's most famous arena, this city doesn't just watch sports, it lives them. Welcome back to 360 Sports. I'm your host, Gina, alongside Owen, Luke, and Isabella, and today we're giving you all things New York sports. Let's get right into it with our first headline. New York has cemented itself as one of the greatest baseball cities in the country. The Yankees and Mets are gearing up for the 2026 season, and let's talk about it. Who do we think is going to be better this year?
Honestly, I didn't have a definitive answer first, I'm not going to lie. But really just thinking about the whole thing, like strategically and in depth, I'm like, the Yankees might have the better shot because they didn't change the rotation. They signed back the players, Trent Grisham, Cody Bellinger. We'll get into that in a bit. But they're only signing pitchers, and pitchers is probably the most important thing they need right now. And this spring training they're really going to, I feel like, call up some players like Spencer Jones from the minor leagues and really see what they look like. Anthony Volpe struggling a little bit, and Austin Wells. I know he was fine, but not in the playoffs. But they're definitely going to test a lot of the minor leagues to see if they have the potential of being on the roster. So I like that, but I do hate that the Yankees haven't signed anyone important like the Red Sox and the Blue Jays and the Dodgers. Unfortunately, I wouldn't say put their eggs in all one basket because I don't want to give context, the wrong context, but the plan was to keep Cody Bellinger. They worked so hard to keep Cody Bellinger that they forgot everyone else. And you know what? They ended up giving him a good deal. He finally caved in. He wanted more. Weird. And I don't know. Listen, this is what Aaron Judge said. I want to get into that. Let's sign these guys right now and then start adding more pieces. I'm seeing other teams around the league get better. They're making trades. They're signing big prospects or big players. And we're sitting there for a while kind of making smaller moves. Agreed. He speaks for everyone, the 3 point of views, as a general manager, as a fan, and as a player. He is correct. Maybe he should be taking Brian Cashman's job at this point. But I do want to get into the Mets briefly. I don't think they have potential. Steve Cohen is kind of like Duze Bots right now, and he's changing the whole rotation. The players he signed, Bo Bichette and Jorge Polanco, they're playing the positions that they're not designated to be playing. Bo Bichette's a shortstop. He's playing third base, most likely, and Jorge Polanco's playing first base as a regular infielder. I know he's utility, but he's never played first base. So that's questionable to Met fans. I don't know what everyone else looks like, but if Steve Cohen wants this to work, he's got to – I don't even know.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, with the Yankees, they kept most of their 2025 core, so I expect them to not do much, not improve much, but keep steady and be a competitive team in the AL. With the Mets, they have a lot of things to shape up in that infield. They signed a lot of guys like Jorge Polanco. Marcus Semien was also another addition. And I think that just jams up that infield, and they'll have to figure it out as the season progresses.
I think as of right now, the Yankees look like they have a better outlook of the season. But if the Mets signings look like they're good signings and they can capitalize on where they are on the field, I wouldn't be too shocked if the Mets take a step and are better than the Yankees again this year. But they're going to have to run into the Dodgers, and we all know what happens when you run into the Dodgers. You all lose.
Right. I mean, the Yankees didn't necessarily get much better. They have the same exact roster as last year, aside from Ryan Weathers, who they added to the pitching rotation. So they don't really have the depth that you would have wanted coming out of this offseason. They didn't sign anyone new. Cody Bellinger, obviously a great pickup. I'm glad they kept him. But the Mets really retooled their whole offense. So I'm excited to see what that looks like. I mean, they signed Freddie Peralta, which was a huge deal, and that would be a great addition to their rotation. They also got relievers Luke Weaver and Devin Williams from the Yankees. So I think the Mets have a good shot, but I don't know that they'll be better than the Yankees, and I think the Subway Series is going to be interesting. So we'll have to wait and see for that. But two teams represent this city in football, even though they play in New Jersey. So let's talk about the Jets and the Giants, who have endured some struggles but are hoping that in the future it will be a brighter future for them. Which squad do we think could contend first?
The Giants. I'm not saying it because I'm a Giants fan. I'm just saying because that's the truth. I mean, John Harbaugh, they signed John Harbaugh, who was the number one favorite signing, like coach signing wise, of course, in the NFL. And you know what? The Giants got him. That's the first great move they made besides the draft in a very long time.
You're saying Harbaugh's consensus top overall pickup?
In the draft, right? Not the draft. In the league right now, yeah. He was very high priority.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
But,
I don't think.
But no, I'm saying no. Let me explain. He is walking into a great situation right now. He is walking into a losing tirelessly team with very much NFL coaching experience. Has won Super Bowl and has been consistent with the Ravens. I know doesn't matter if they won or not. They've been to the playoffs many times.
How many playoff wins he's gotten in Baltimore? I mean,
at least he's been in the playoffs.
But he walks into a
But if you're walking into a team that's going 3-10, 2-10 every season, he has the ability to rebuild that team, and he has the ability to rebuild that Giants. Obviously, they signed him because he has the ability to do that. He is walking into an ultimate trio with Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo, and Malik Neighbors, who are, I want to say, top. But you can't when they're injured. Neighbors and Scatterbo were injured.
I'll give you Neighbors is a phenomenal player.
Yes, Jackson Dart had a great rookie of the year. Scatterbo would have had a phenomenal rookie of the year if he did not have a season-ending injury.
They're a great young core. I mean, Abdul Carter.
That's the future of the Giants.
Abdul Carter.
He's going to build them.
But what makes you think that John Harbaugh, who is arguably in the best situation in the NFL in Baltimore, with one of the best quarterbacks, arguably one of the best running backs, with one of the better receiving cores, with one of the best defenses, and he couldn't do anything? What makes you think that he can now walk in?
Do anything.
All right, if you have some of the best players, your QB wins 2 MVPs and all that, and yet you can't squeak out 2 playoff wins, that's a problem.
He's coming into a team that has room to grow, especially the starters who are less than 25 years old, half of them, and he is going to have the ability to build them. He hired new coaches.
Matt Nagy is not a good offensive coordinator.
For the Chiefs, he did.
Just because you've worked for the Chiefs, the big problem for the
in
Chiefs
the years that they were in the Super Bowl.
Okay, but just because he had Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and other great receivers,
obviously
he's carried by players there. His offensive play calling was continually like one of the worst in the NFL over the past couple of years, and it's known.
Okay, guys, I think the Giants have the
Still
potential with their young core. Hopefully they can stay healthy. What do you think?
Yeah, at the very least, I think Harbaugh will be a good culture setter, restore that culture that's been missing for some time. They've had low expectations for years, and Harbaugh kind of raises that. And the Giants can give him time, give him 5 years. He signed a 5-year deal, and he'll have that length of the contract to restore that culture. And you have a great young core with the Giants. And then you also, on the defensive side of the ball, have superstardom with Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns leading the way. And then Abdul Carter was a defensive rookie of the year candidate, alongside Jackson Dart being an offensive rookie of the year candidate.
The point I'm making is that the roster is super talented already. It's just the leadership they need. And this leadership, I think, can lead the way to a playoff contention next season. I'll be delusional.
I don't know about next
season, I think so. Unless it's almost at the playoffs, they might be better than the Cowboys, the Commanders, I almost said Redskins, and the Jets.
I might be a John Harbaugh hater, though. But he got fired out of Baltimore because his culture wasn't there.
His job was done.
His players didn't respect him anymore. His players didn't like him. He left New York because
he's been there for 18 seasons. His job was done.
Okay, well, let's talk about the Jets, who I don't think have as much potential as the Giants do. I think the Giants will be better this season. The Jets have a lot of question marks. I mean, Aaron Glenn is not the coach that you want leading that team. Their offense falls apart. The defense was supposed to be good. Wasn't good. They don't even know who's going to be quarterback next season, not Justin Fields. So what do we think about the Jets?
Yeah, they have a lot of draft capital, but at the same time, you can't say that's a benefit at all, because in 2022, they drafted Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson, and Breece Hall. That's a great young core. That's a great draft class. But they did nothing. Yeah, they did nothing with it.
Where did they go?
The Jets are just dysfunctional right now. And I don't think Aaron Glenn's the answer to restore any culture, even though he was a great defensive coach with the Lions.
It's interesting. I as a personally like Aaron Glenn as a head coach over John Harbaugh. Saying that, I still agree the Giants have a better outlook. They have a better situation. The Jets, they have nothing to hold on to, look forward to. No quarterback. Breece Hall's gone. Didn't even tag him, right? No franchise tag for Breece Hall. He's gone. right? Garrett Wilson needs to leave badly, right? They have no outlook. They have some draft capital. Let's see what happen. But from a coaching standpoint, I would say Aaron Glenn is a better fit than John Harbaugh is. I think he brings the intensity you need to
We'll see.
an organization that has been lacking intensity. He is a defensive-minded coach, and when your team sucks, the least you can do is have a good defense, right? You need to drill into your defense that we might not score any points, but if they can score less points, then then it looks less bad.
I mean, last season they traded all their defensive talent away, though. Like Quinnen Williams, they traded at the trade deadline to the Cowboys when the Cowboys were buyers for
Sauce
some
Gardner's
reason.
gone.
Sauce
But,
Gardner,
yeah,
though, he was
Sauce
already on his
Gardner
decline.
gone.
They signed him
He
to too high of a
was.
contract. I actually view the Sauce Gardner trade as a really good trade for the Jets because I think he was already on his decline, and then he tore his Achilles.
Yes, it gives them another chance at the draft, too, in the next couple of years.
I will
Absolutely.
say they did do a clean house. They hired many QB coaches, DC, OC, defensive line. Cleaning up a little bit. Will it work? Who knows? But Justin Fields might be gone. He might not even be on the Jets. So that's a big hunt.
I
And
think you
if they
can
choose
book
the
him. He's
wrong
not QB.
quarterback,
Yeah.
knowing the
It's
Jets
not going to be a long-term
franchise,
answer this year. that's for
knowing the
sure.
Jets franchise, they could be doing the worst moves possible.
They should pull in Malik Willis. If I were the Jets, I'd pull in Malik Willis and draft someone else with their pick.
Well, we'll see what happens there. Now, the Knicks and Nets on the hardwood are two teams on polar opposite ends of the spectrum. The Knicks have had success. The Nets, not so much. So what do we think about these teams?
I think it's championship or bust for the Knicks wholeheartedly. I mean, the East at the start of the season thought to be wide open without Tatum and Halliburton leading the way. And the Knicks, in heartbreak, lost in the Eastern Conference Finals. And the next step is a championship and an appearance in the NBA Finals. And you fired Tom Thibodeau and replaced him with Mike Brown to do just that. They have a lot of expectations. They're the 3 seed right now, and that's pretty disappointing based on the expectations going into the year. But the Pistons, they're young. Even though they're gritty, they're young. They don't have much playoff experience, although they went to the playoffs last year and lost. The Knicks the East is wide open for them to take.
Honestly, love the Knicks. This team right now is the future for the Knicks. I don't want any banter about that. It definitely is. Everyone's young. Everyone's good. That is what I admire about this team is that no matter who is starting or who's on the bench and plays half the game, they're good. Mitchell Robinson, Deuce, I know they're not their usual starters, but they're good every time they play. And Mike Brown was the correct move for hiring for the Knicks because he doesn't just use the same 6 players on the court. He branches out. He uses new players. He wants to see their potential if they could be starters for the future. So I really like that about him. And that obviously has worked because look where they are now in the league. And 2 that really stuck out to me was Tyler Kolek, who they signed back in 2024, and Jordan Clarkson in 2025 have been making waves during the 2025, like that area of the season. And you know what? They could be starters for the future. Who knows? And they also just got Jose Alvarado, who is very good. He's very quick on his feet. He makes those shots. Him and Jalen Brunson have the great chemistry. He's also from Brooklyn. Hi. And Jalen Brunson, as a captain and a player himself, he has been having a phenomenal season. He has been breaking records with shooting. He averages 30 points per game. And sorry, but Team Brunson won the Shooting Stars event All-Star Weekend. Of course, why wouldn't he? And the Knicks won the NBA Cup. That's just summing it up for all. So they're looking pretty dominant in the league right now. What's the problem?
I agree. I actually think the Knicks are in a really good situation right now to start making runs. But at the end of the day, there's a big bad wolf in the West called the Thunder. They're not beating the
No, I'm
Thunder.
not
Great
saying
team.
overall league. I'm just saying for where they are, they're in a great standpoint.
Were they better at this point last year? Weren't they better at this point last year?
I think so, but
They're
I still
just
think
as
they're
good, I
a
think.
favorite to come out of the East,
Yeah.
but the Nets are not. They are bottom of that conference. They do have some potential with Michael Porter Jr. and Yegor Dioman, who's a rookie who will be really good once he develops. He's already pretty decent. So quickly, what do we think about the Nets?
I'm sorry. I know the tanking situation's going on. They have to tank for a top 3
They
pick.
do.
Honestly,
I-
time will tell because they have much rebuilding to do.
They do.
Put them
Too
in the
much.
Jets in the same
Right,
same
Nets,
spot.
Jets.
I
Same
will say it
difference.
is better to hit rock bottom and potentially get a new set of franchise players than never doing anything about it.
True. Well, speaking of rebuilding, let's talk about those teams on the ice. New York is represented by the Islanders and the Rangers, and It's been interesting this season. Neither of them are at their typical standards. So, what do we think about these teams?
I think that the Islanders at least have a better outlook on life than the Rangers. It's not even close, right? The Rangers are just
That hurt a little bit.
selling their soul out. They're trying to get this rebuild started. They're waiting till this next season to see what they can do. While the Islanders have players like Matt Schaefer and Matt Barzal, who are just, it's a good young core that they can finally build off. It looks like the Rangers are starting the rebuild and the Islanders are just about that next step into the rebuild. So it's hard, again, time will tell with them though.
Yeah, when you have one of the best young defensemen in the league in Matthew Schaefer, that's already a jump start for you. And the Islanders are third in the Metro. They're still kind of in contention. But the Rangers, on the other hand, they're kind of like the Islanders of last year, where they kind of need that first overall pick to kind of turn their situation around, because they're having to sell at the deadline. And it's hurt them when they had such high expectations with a veteran core that needed success this season.
I mean, the Rangers are dead last in the Metro. I
God,
think
don't remind me.
Gavin McKenna would look good in
Gavin McKenna would look great
Great
in
in
a
Rangers
Rangers
colors. Yeah.
uniform
He would
look better in
in New
Rangers
York,
colors.
playing in
Yeah.
Madison Square
punching
Garden.
dudes in the face in New
They-
York. I like that.
They need something like that. I mean, they're just this rebuild. It needs to happen. It's been tough for them with
They-
Shesterkin out and
Oh, God.
trading away Panarin, which
They're
really
cleaning
hurt.
house.
They're cleaning house, but they need to do it because how else are they going to get better? The Islanders, we mentioned Matt Schaefer. He's great. He will be great for them moving forward. They have much better chances than the Rangers. So
I mean, these teams are on polar opposites right now. Islanders are doing good, crazy, and then the Rangers are decreasing in good ability. But yeah, Rangers are cleaning house. It's just really sad to see, because looking at the team that was majority full of rookies, you got the kid line also, it's such a big difference. And it is really sad to see as a fan of the Rangers that the last couple of years with that team is almost gone, but there hopefully is a rebuild for next year. They could really use a Kurt Russell coach for their team. The great Gene Hackman once said, you got to have heart, miles and miles and miles of it. And that team years ago when they were in the playoffs had more heart than the team they do now.
all right. Well, many New York athletes have become fan favorites over their years in New York. So we're going to go to the board and give our fan favorites. And Luke, you're up first.
Got it. All right, for me, growing up in the New York area, there was always an easy pick of who you wanted to be and who you looked up to. For me, it was Odell Beckham Jr., right? I grew up right when he made the phenomenal catch. He did his thing. OBJ, I was in my front yard trying to make one-handed catches, have a good time. Me and my boys just throwing the ball up in recess, right? Trying to catch the ball. His stats were amazing. He won Rookie of the Year, all these things. But that's not what he's remembered for in New York. It's for the cultural changes he made in New York. I know kids who had blonde hair like that, who died, looked stupid, but they did it because they wanted to be like OBJ. And that's why he was my favorite player in New York.
Wow,
Okay.
that's something.
Interesting. I mean, I don't think it's a bad pick.
I don't know about you
Not a
guys,
bad
but
pick.
he had at least
Is
New
this what they
Jersey in
teach
a
you in Jersey?
chokehold. He had New Jersey in a chokehold for
Yeah.
45 years, right? Everyone wanted their hair, his color.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, yo, throw me an OBJ. Let me catch with one hand.
True.
I feel like he just had the
That
whole
catch,
the
yeah.
whole East Coast in a
He was
chokehold.
pretty influential,
Yeah, I was doing-
I guess. I don't know.
People were doing that everywhere.
Yeah.
That one-hand catch
They
was
were.
It's very rare
amazing.
now.
And it transcended sports.
He's a trendsetter. Okay.
Isabella, you're off.
Okay. Honestly, I fear mine is not a big surprise. If you know me. So we got, if it comes up, my GOAT, Derek, Mr. November Jeter. There's so much to say about this guy, but so little time. But I will say coming in his rookie year, stardom. He was definitely the future face for the Yankees. That's why he was captain. And he helped end that. I know the Yankees had many droughts, but they had that drought from 1979 to 1995 and 1996 is when, they were winning. And that's when Derek Jeter was there. So props to him. He has so many memorable moments. I know he's not a home run hitter, but it doesn't matter if you're a home run hitter or not. He was a great hitter overall. The RBIs matter more than a home run hitters. I know fans today will be like, oh my God, home runs. Like, he doesn't have as much as this person in this league. So what? He has made more of an impact on the Yankees than so many players. Controversial, I'm sorry. But, he was the captain. He was the moment. He was the legend, everything. but he has helped the Yankees become who they are. He has won 4 World Series titles with them. There's so much to say. Like, I'm losing my words here, but trust in him.
Trust.
I would say he's been so consistent. He has never had a terrible season.
You know what?
I grew up not caring about baseball, right? Nothing. Still love Derek
You
Jeter and
can't
everything.
not
You can't
love
not like
Derek
him. Again,
Jeter. Come on.
He was
he's
in
an
that
icon.
dynasty. He had the 3-peat. He was
Data
batting
J-Lo.
at 310 average.
Hey, Data J-Lo. You could make a whole nice baseball lineup.
And
out
so
of
can
Data.
I.
Wait,
I forgot to include this. I
you mean
feel like
A-Rod?
Oh, was that A-Rod?
oh, goodbye. No, I forgot to mention he brought back the magic of the Yankees into the stadium that has been missing for that period of time. I felt like the fans were more united, and he just made baseball for the Yankees better.
Okay, Owen, you're up.
When you talk about New York icons, you go to Lawrence Taylor. I mean, he was a demon. Opposing offenses dictated their game plans around stopping him, and it still never worked. 142 career sacks, 8-time All-Pro, 2-time Super Bowl champion, and 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. He won Defensive Player of the Year as a rookie. That's the first defensive player to ever do it. And he won MVP as a defensive player, only linebacker and only player unanimously on the defensive side of the ball to win it. He was amazing, and he was a trendsetter, and his chaotic nature kind of shaped around and fit perfectly in that New York landscape.
Lawrence Taylor was a beast.
I love Lawrence Taylor.
Good
I mean,
pick. I like it. Yeah.
he's greatest defensive end of all
Yeah.
time, arguably greatest defensive player of all time.
No doubt the greatest.
Extracurriculars just make him
defensive player
that
of
much
all time.
cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to not like Lawrence Taylor.
All right, it's my turn, guys. I'm gonna surprise some people with my pick.
I know
it. Yep. Okay. My favorite New York athlete is former New York Yankees catcher Gary Sanchez. If you know anything about me, you know I love Gary Sanchez. Okay, like this man cemented my love for baseball when I started following the Yankees in 2017. The homegrown baby bomber. He was a 2-time All-Star. He won Silver Slugger in 2017, and he contributed in that 2019 season that was so special and so near and dear to my heart. He hit 34 home runs that season, and I will never forget that. He might not be the greatest player on the diamond. Let's be real, his defense was not great. He was streaky, not consistent, but he will always be one of my favorites. So
I feel so bad because he was a great hitter for the beginning.
he struck out a lot,
I know.
I will admit.
But he was good at his RBIs.
I mean,
I've never even heard of this dude.
you've never heard of
That's
Gary
crazy.
Sanchez. This hurts me. Like
This
Yeah.
is New York sports.
in middle school,
I
like
don't
this,
watch
like
baseball.
he was my man. Like this isn't
He's
funny.
my
Like
man.
okay, well,
He was running up for Rookie of the Year too.
yes, he was
Yeah,
second in
he was
Rookie of
pretty
the Year
good.
voting in 2016.
How
So
did I not know that then? Oh.
I don't know. Well, he's still playing too. He's now
Yankees?
For the Orioles.
The Brewers. No, he got yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought he was with the Orioles.
He was with the Orioles before.
Okay, that was
But-
the other way around.
We talked about some of the best New York athletes. So let's talk about some athletes who cracked under the pressure of those bright New York spotlights and some players we thought we wished would have done better in New York.
Yeah, I kind of
Sorry.
took this differently. It said fizzled out and wanted to see shine a lot more. So I went with Jeremy Lin. I mean, he had that Lin Sandy run, and then he fell off the face of the earth.
No, he
Kinda.
shot for the Lakers once. Come on.
That I mean,
That's crazy.
I mean,
off
yeah,
Kobe. Come
yeah, but Jeremy Lin was such a phenom for that month stretch in New York, and people like that. He transcended the Asian culture within the NBA and had a big impact on the NBA in that sense. And I just wish we saw more of that success for a longer period of time.
All right. Well, now mine completely different than that is I have Kenny Galladay. Yeah, and I mean, for me, Kenny
What a
Galladay
name.
signed a 4-year, $72 million contract with the Giants, and he finished his career in 2 years with 42 receptions, 600 yards, and 1 touchdown. I mean, that's atrocious, right? $72 million over 4 years, and you don't even have 700 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, I remember Kenny Galladay being a somewhat pretty good player on the Lions, doing his thing, but he went to New York and he just completely fizzled out. And for me, I wish he could have done more in New York or New Jersey, really,
Right.
in East Rutherford.
Honestly, I went differently. I went Sam Darnold because he was drafted by the Jets. He played with them from 2018 to 2020, but it wasn't the greatest start for him because injuries and inconsistencies really sustained his career at that point. And he was also bouncing around after Kyle Shanahan rebuilt him. Go 49ers, go him. But that point is that he wasn't meant for the Jets. And obviously showed that by winning the Super Bowl with the Seahawks.
Right.
Is anybody meant for the Jets?
No.
No,
Joe Namath, maybe?
they ruined.
Yeah,
the Jets
Joe Namath.
ruined.
Broadway
That's about
Joe.
it.
Every New Yorker says Jets ruined Sam Darnold, but I will say him winning the Super Bowl was a great redemption for him. I'm glad he won. Even if it's a division rivalry as a 49ers fan, besides a Giants fan, I root for him.
Two teams.
Whoa,
Whoa.
Time out. 49ers
I don't see the
and Giants?
problem.
Well,
I don't see the problem.
all right.
Obviously not.
Aside from
That's
that,
a problem in itself.
Sam Darnold is proof that if you get drafted by the Jets, you can turn your life around.
Exactly.
I also went with a former Jet in Aaron Rodgers because
I was looking
he came into New York with, I would say, decently high expectations
Yeah.
as a veteran.
You
And
could
then the
say.
first drive of the game of his debut tears his Achilles, and the season is just done for.
Damn that.
And then the
turf,
next
bro.
season, it was still not good. Yeah, that MetLife turf. Still, the next season
curse.
was not good. So, but then he went on to be really good with the Steelers, and
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
I mean, they made it to the playoffs. So, like, better than he was with the Jets. But
Yeah, Jets would have appreciated a playoff appearance
Yeah,
with
they
Aaron
were
Making the
Rodgers.
Jets and Giants just New Jersey's team, by the way, because it's about time. I think
well, I don't know. Well, the Jets used to play in New York.
used to.
Yeah, but okay.
The
well,
name New York Jets and New York Giants came before they played in the MetLife Stadium. So why would we do that?
Because now they're stationed. There's literally no part of their organization stationed.
Are you
in New
saying that
York.
because you're from Jersey?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should have those-
Got it, guys.
Absolutely.
All
Yeah,
right. well,
now the Buffalo Bills
I mean,
are the only team.
There's a
in
reason
New
that
York.
stadium's used for New
I
Jersey
love how
State
this is New York sports and
championships.
we don't bring up the Buffalo Bills.
Well, we're doing New York City.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to wrap up our show, we're going to talk about why New York City is the best city to come from these four cities that 360 Sports is showcasing this week. So, what do we got?
I can tell you guys this right now. Growing up in New Jersey, you don't go to Philly, you don't go to anywhere else. You go to New York City. You go to Yankees games. You go watch stuff in New York City. It's just that simple. As you don't go anywhere else. It is the mecca of the world for a reason. Everything centers around New York for a reason. It simply is New York is the best spot to be.
Hundreds of thousands of tourists come, not specifically to Yankee Stadium, but they are there. We know. So that's that. There's so much sports history in New York. People have gone to memorabilia museums. Just there's so much to do there with New York sports. If I'm stuttering. If New York won a big championship, we would be having a parade for days.
And you see what happens
And
when the
we
Knicks
have,
win and they haven't
it
won
would be
anything big.
such unification. It would be passion. Be so uplifting. We wouldn't be like the other cities that riot whenever their team wins or loses.
New York would burn
and-
to the ground if you guys won.
We wouldn't burn anything. But
Knicks-
and I also
What's
want to
the
bring
focus?
up a city that never sleeps. New York City. All the cities go to sleep when their team freaking wins.
Yeah, Yankee Stadium and Madison Square Garden are two of the best venues in all of sports. I mean, New York has so much history, and their rivalries are what makes it. I mean, the rivalry between the Yankees and the Mets, the fans hate each other. They hate each other. I mean,
good rivalry.
it's
The Subway
a
Series
great
is great.
rivalry.
That's one of the most
And
famous series.
There's a reason why everyone talks about the New York sports media. It's the spotlight of all of sports, and the Big Apple is truly the pinnacle.
I mean, yeah, like you guys said, it is considered the greatest city in the world, and the sports are not excluded from that. The New York sports franchises also have the most championships out of
Yeah.
any.
It's because the Yankees won 27 when plumbers were playing. Let's
Okay,
relax.
but
My Uncle Bob could have won one with the Yankees in 46. All right, I like the Yankees, and let's relax a
well,
little bit.
I'm not the one saying that. That's like
Just said-
casual fan thing to say, but it's true that while tourists will come to New York just for the city, they come for the sports venues too. And that's why I think New York is the best sports city. But that's all we have for you guys today. For Owen, Luke, and Isabella, I'm Gina. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of 360 Sports.